and he knows that they are still the team to beat.
Was the Patriots before them. You want to be that team that has that sustained success. And in order to be that team, you got to beat that team.
Yeah.
And, it's a lot easier said than done. At the same time, we view them, I think, as anybody else in the league does.
He also said that the 20,000 fans in Arrowhead were a huge obstacle to try and overcome, but he is excited to be back in packed stadiums.
Well, at Wyoming, what's the largest road crowd he ever faced? 12, 18, 23,000? I'm guessing.
Well, I mean, he played in
Oregon.
stadiums in the NFL that were full. It's not like this wasn't his rookie year, but I think, most of the year last year they're playing in empty stadiums. To go from that to, Kansas City was one of the first ones to let
you're right. That's
fans
right.
back in the
Good
stadium.
Good point.
That's a big shock, so it's not like he hasn't played in front of full stadiums before, but last year was a very unique situation. Chiefs beat the Bills twice last season, 26-17 in the regular season and 38-24 in the AFC Championship game. But he's right. They are the standard, and especially in the AFC, we think that the Bills are, an ascending team, but they haven't arrived really until they beat the champs, and that's what the Chiefs are in the AFC.
When I look at the AFC, I really look at Bills, Chiefs, and then everybody's a notch below. That's what I think. Kansas City, Buffalo, that's where you start. And everybody, I think Cleveland and Baltimore have a ton of talent. Tennessee's got talent, but they're not those two.
But they're on a different level.
Buffalo is a pass rusher away. That's it.
I love what Buffalo has done. And, despite, I know everyone's screaming and hollering about how many more years Tua has to develop. I like that they waited with Josh Allen, because I did not like Josh Allen in his first 2 years. I don't think anybody did.
Oh, as a rookie, he was a little bit of a mess.
I will say, though, Buffalo is a different place. But you can be a little more patient in Buffalo.
Yeah, the media is going to be supportive.
Yes, if you aren't developing right away.
Well, if you've been losing for 20 years, like Cleveland or Buffalo, in Cleveland right now, and I'm not joking, they think Baker's a top 5 quarterback. Because the standards are so low there that if you win a playoff game...
Listen, if I was Cleveland, I would be perfectly happy with Baker.
Of course.
They've had 40 quarterbacks in the last 20 years.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I'm not going to get ridiculous, but I'm not a ridiculous person. So it's the same thing with...
Remember when I named the top 12 quarterbacks and I put them in 2 tiers, like the Mahomes tier and then the Matt Ryan tier? People in Cleveland were outraged. I didn't put Baker in the first tier with Russell Wilson, Aaron, Brady. They were outraged.
You know what?
It's like, what?
Fans, this is why we love fans. Because fans don't want to hear anything but positive stuff.
But some are more realistic
about
than
their
others.
team. I prefer realistic fans.
So do I.
I consider myself to be a realistic fan.
So do I.
But you know what? I also enjoy excellence and winning. So you can't just be out here telling yourself that you're doing a great job if you're not really doing a great job.
Warm weather fans are generally more realistic because they have a life beyond their team. Like in Miami,
we have so many options. It's the same thing with it's the same thing LA faces. It's why the Rams have been so aggressive, because there is a lot of it is a factor. I was just talking about this the other day. This is sports, right? It's competition. We respect the battles, and it's true, and it's honest competition, and that's why we love it. But it's first and foremost a television show. It's entertainment. First and foremost.
Yeah.
That's where all the money comes from.
Right.
Don't get it twisted. So at the end of the day, you have to be relevant. It's part of the reason why Carolina made that move for Sam Darnold. They might still take another quarterback.
It matters.
You have to be relevant.
When you run a team in LA, the Dodgers get 4.5 million people a year. LeBron, Kawhi,
UCLA
Rams.
in the tournaments, USC.
There's
Hollywood Boulevard.
The beach is free and beautiful.
You have to be relevant. You have to.
And nobody cares about being patient. Get good now, or I just won't buy your tickets. Seriously, in LA.
No, it is.
Be good now, or I won't buy your tickets.
It definitely is.
USC wins 7. If USC finishes second in their division, they struggle to sell tickets.
It's just a demand for entertainment. So Trevor Lawrence underwent left shoulder surgery February 16th, which gave him a lot of time to get healed up by training camp. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport reported that Lawrence has been throwing again the past 2 weeks. He isn't fully 100% yet, but he's feeling a little more normal again in his workouts. He is obviously the overwhelming favorite to go number 1 in the draft. Fox Bet has him minus 10,000. So
He's going number one.
Number one of the draft. But you know what's interesting about this draft? Because he is so in a different category, we're not talking about him leading up to the draft.
It was almost like Andrew Luck. What's the point? We didn't even. I don't even remember his pro day.
He just disappeared in the process because we know where he's going, who his coach is going to be, and I think we all think that Urban's going to be able to make it work.
Well.
It's going to be an amazing story to watch this year once the season starts.
No, I mean, coach, quarterback league, Urban and Trevor are a great story. First time in my life, Jacksonville, I'm fascinated.
Think about it. How many teams, it's going to be crazy to follow all, because there's so many quarterbacks and so many quarterbacks moving around this year.
Burrow makes me care about the Bengals.
Burrow, Sam Darnold, Detroit. I'm interested to see what Detroit does with Jared Goff. The Rams with Stafford.
The reason you're changing things, that's different than having a bad year and trying to change things. If you can control your timeline because you don't have to rush back. And so, if you're not coming off of a rehabilitation or a surgery. So for Cam, this checks those boxes. He knows where he's at. They don't have OTAs next week they have to be back for. And he's not coming off of a surgery. So if it can be done, this would be the offseason.
Jordan Palmer, quarterback coach, Quarterback Summit. Good program. Helps quarterbacks reach their potential. We're both rooting for Sammy. I'll tell you that. Sam Darnold, quality guy. Good seeing you, Jordan.
Yeah, thanks, Colin.
You bet.
Thanks, Joy.
You bet. Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card first year automatically with no limit. Pretty cool. Learn more, discover.com/yes. Discover.com/yes. Joy Taylor with the news.
No.
Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
Penei Sewell opted out the 2020 season and was concerned some people might forget about him. So he wanted to remind everyone that he is a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, I like this.
Again, just go to put on the tape. Everybody just go ahead and watch what I do. And it's nobody can do what I do in this draft, in the offensive tackle rooms. So I bring something totally different to the table. And I think people notice that. People know that. But again, people will say whatever they want to say. And all I have to say is put on the tape and watch me work.
By the way, he's from a very good football family. He's got brothers who can really play at a high level. So that he's got his size.
I was watching a video of him the other day. I was like, it'd be funny to see me standing next to him. He is massive. And he's right. Go put on the tape. Last week at Oregon's Pro Day, he benched 30 reps of 225 pounds. And ran the 40 in an unofficial 5.09.
That's really fast for a guy that big. That's
for someone that weighs 331 pounds.
Yeah. I mean, listen, in the Pac-12, he was the most impressive physical player in the Pac-12. He didn't look like other players.
He's unbelievable. Well, he's currently favored to go number 5 to the Bengals, according to Fox Bet. But, I mean, I don't know. We're seeing a lot of mock drafts. Listen, Daniel Jeremiah had Kyle Pitts going to Cincinnati.
I know. It's interesting, though. The Pac-12's got a pretty great history of offensive linemen, left tackles. Why? It's a passing conference. Now, it's not as physical as the SEC. It's not as tough as the Big Ten. But Anthony Munoz, Jonathan Ogden, you can go Tony Baselli. There's been a lot of great left tackles and offensive linemen through the years in the Pac-12 because they have to develop pass blocking skills, not just run blocking skills like other conferences. It's always been a little step ahead, a little, I would say, more sophisticated NFL passing offenses. I mean, Pete Carroll coached there, Marv Levy coached there, Steve Mariucci, Jim Harbaugh. You've had a lot of coaches migrate Pac-12. Bill Walsh coached there, Pac-12 to the NFL. So your offensive linemen are usually a step ahead in pass blocking skills if they have the talent.
It's much harder to pass block than run block.
No.
Run block, you're just pancaking people down the field.
And by the way, an offensive lineman, especially a tackle, Joy, on run blocking, you're either blocking a 260-pound edge rusher and you're 330 or a linebacker. They love that. Left tackles love to just pin their ears back and bury a guy that's 60 pounds lighter.
So the Chiefs made history last year, becoming the first team to play and host 3 consecutive AFC